Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our presentation. My name is Mehmet SANDER. I am a PhD student at the University of Trakya, and my research topic is pronunciation teaching. So I am going to teach the German pronunciation to Turkish learners. My doctoral supervisor is Professor Dr. Hikmet ASUTAY, also from the Trakya University, and he is the head of the Department of German Language teaching there. And under his supervision, also this presentation has been prepared. So today we would like to talk about the role of new media in German as a foreign language teaching. We would like to start with the introduction part. As you know, utilizing new media in German language lessons has a great importance. First of all, we would like to define the term new media. And so actually, new media means new tools. But the term is changing constantly because of its ongoing modification. For example, paper, printed presses, or tape recorders were regarded as new when they were first created. But nowadays, the digital media is being considered as new. So, because of the rise of the new media, people receive increased opportunities for communication and information gathering. That's why the media literacy in daily life has a greater importance than ever. And we could use the digital media also in educational contexts, for example, to increase the learner's motivation or to activate and also accelerate the longer-term learning processes. There are several publications on the topic in relation to teaching German as a foreign language, or so in the context of teaching foreign languages in general. At this point, we would like to go on with the theoretical underpinnings, and after that, we would like to talk about the types of new media and would make some practical suggestions for the classroom use. And the theoretical underpinnings could be approached from different perspectives. But for us, the design of the teaching and the learning processes has the primary significance. That's why we would like to examine the connection between the new media and their usage in electronic learning, e-learning, closely. E-learning means goal-appropriate, situation-appropriate, and media-appropriate learning process, which is carried out utilizing digital media technologies. And our goal is to show how we could use the digital tools in German language lessons, and so that we could realize the e-learning at the same time. For that purpose, we are going to make use of Kong's e-learning framework, which has a general pedagogical characteristic. Because of that, we are going to integrate the German as a foreign language perspective on our own. Kong's framework has two dimensions. Those are so the pedagogical one and the technological one. So the components of the technological dimension are e-resources, digital ways of communication, and of collecting data. The parts of e-resources are e-textbook, curriculum-related e-resources, open courseware, and e-resources in general. And the components of digital ways of communication are the use of digital communication tools in classroom instruction, the use of digital platforms, the interactions of learners and teachers in social networks, and also the allowance which should be given to learners so that they could have the chance for sharing their expressions and views. And the digital ways of collecting data are either formative or summative. At that point, we would like also to mention that the technological dimension of the framework was expanded so that the technological items could be included into its structure. And the components of the pedagogical dimension are: the first one is theories, models, principles, strategies. The second one is learning and teaching activities. And the third one is evidence-based pedagogical decision-making and supports. The primary focus of the theories, models, principles, and strategies is on the theoretical foundations of the e-learning process. And tasks build the core of the learning and teaching activities. And evidence-based pedagogical decision-making and supports are about the adoption of gathering data in the learning process. To be more precise, the learner data should be collected and analyzed. According to those analyzed results, the respective lesson design should be revised if necessary. And regarding this, we would like to mention lastly that pedagogical theories, models, principles, and strategies. This component is the fundamental principle of Kong's framework. In other words, the user should decide on this, and all of the other decisions will be shaped accordingly. And now we would like to go on with the categorization of the new media. For that purpose, we are going to use Reinhardt's taxonomy and his respective explanations. Reinhardt's taxonomy is created for teachers. So teachers would use it in order to identify the type of media used by the students, and which study skills would be strengthened by using the respective media. And the teachers would also be able to give exact feedback to the students regarding their skill reinforcement. So the taxonomy has, within the taxonomy, there are several media types, and there are also skills. So the skills are related to each sort of media. According to Raina, the types of media are audio podcasts, blog posting, brochure, digital story, video, blended media, and game. So there are three domains for teaching and learning within the taxonomy. Those are conceptual, functional, and audio-visual. The conceptual domain is assigned to each medium. In contrast, so the functional and visual domain has a variety of components, and so they are different in the structure of each medium. Now we would like to go on with the integration of the new media in German language teaching. Our target group consists of the Turkish learners, and we assume that they have the language level A2 up to B1. And for that purpose, we would like to use the adapted version of Reinhardt's taxonomy. It means the conceptual domain means for us the specific content of the foreign language lesson. And the functional domain shows us which technological devices we should adapt to operate the respective new media. And the audiovisual domain shows us whether the new media has an auditory, visual, or an audiovisual structure. And we would like also to integrate Kong's framework partly into our statements. It means we are only going to utilize the criteria, theories, models, principles, strategies, and the other one, learning and teaching activities, because by using the theories, models, principles, and strategies, we would be able to build the theoretical foundation of our lesson design, and so the learning and teaching activities would serve the purpose that we would be able to describe the respective teacher and learner actions. So our first example is about the usage of audio podcasts, and the conceptual aspect shows us that the podcasts are primarily about discussions on particular life topics like sports, music, or entertainment. And by using the functional aspect, we see that they could be used on computers or cell phones. And according to the audiovisual aspect, so we see that a podcast is an auditory teaching tool. So how could we use them in German teaching? For example, the communicative approach could be employed in the classroom when we use an authentic podcast, and the teacher could create some listening comprehension exercises for this related podcast, and he could go through them with his students. And our next example is about the utilization of videos, and the conceptual aspect shows us that there is a variety of subject-specific topics which are thematized within the videos. Examples are news, documentaries, or instructions for this context. And the functional aspect shows us that we could use the videos on computers. And according to the audiovisual aspect, we see that the podcasts have an audiovisual design. And how could we use them in German lessons? So we could say the grammar translation method would primarily serve as the theoretical foundation for a grammar training video. And so eventually the teacher could offer a grammar comparison between Turkish and German, of course, with relation to the subjects covered within the respective video. So we would like to start our conclusions with the idea that teaching materials specifically for our target group could be created, and also the potential benefits of using new media with Turkish learners of German should be further explored. And in this context, we would also like to mention that the German studies have a great significance in Turkey. So they consist of German teacher training, German language and literature, translation and interpreting, namely. And we would like to suggest a more thorough research of ways for utilizing new media in this context. So how they could be applied within the German studies. Those are examples for our selected references, which we have used to prepare our presentation. And we would like to thank you for your attention and hope to see you soon again. So goodbye. Thank you.